Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Falk, Program Manager at UA Piping Industry College of BC. And today I've got Max Eng with me, and we're going to be talking about skills competitions, apprenticeships, and the trades in general. Welcome to the hall. So welcome to the hall. As I said, we've got Max Eng here with us today. So Max, let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
How did you get into the trade? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I started in high school in grade 12. I heard about a trades program called Tupper Tech, ran out of high school in Vancouver. So I decided to apply for that. And initially I didn't get in
Right.
because they prioritized their students over other schools' students.
Right.
And I was from a sister school. So I didn't get in, but then somebody else dropped out. So I got into the program, and initially I wanted to be an electrician.
Right.
And I wanted to work as a residential electrician. But I tried out for a different job and at Red Seal Electric, and that didn't work.
Okay.
So they laid me off the first week I was there, and I went back to school, and my teacher suggested that I try plumbing. So he set me up with a company, PML, mechanical, and I started working there, and they took me on as an apprentice, and I haven't looked back since, I guess. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about kind of the pathway of doing a trade while you're still in high school. Because obviously, on the training side of things, we deal a lot with the high schools now.
For
We
sure.
partner with, I believe it's 7 different high schools in the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they're not aware, and for a lot of high school students even, they're not aware of these programs that you can still actually graduate, right? Complete your required courses in high school, but at the same time, right? Kind of parallel to that, start your apprenticeship
Yeah.
a lot earlier than a lot of people do, right? So
Yeah, it's a pretty cool program for sure.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know about it until my friend told me.
yeah,
And so basically, what I did is that the summer of grade 11, I completed my English 12, which is basically the only requirement you need
right,
to graduate. So I did that, and then in grade 12, I just started working basically
yeah,
from the beginning of the school year all the way to my graduation. I was just working full time,
yeah.
which is pretty sweet. I was making cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know that that's the path you want to go into, you know you want to go into a skilled trade, what better time to do it than while you're still in high school, right?
Exactly.
Instead of waiting till you've actually graduated.
Yeah.
So we're huge supporters of that program, and we've seen a lot of success. So good
Yeah.
to see another one. I know. I believe your instructor was Russ Evans.
Yeah, Russ Evans.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we've done work with Russ,
Oh,
of
he's the
course.
best.
And tell us a little bit about his program, because I know he runs things a little different than
Well,
some of the other high school instructors,
he
tech ed teachers.
he retired
Yeah,
2 years ago, but he was one of the best instructors I've ever had. Right?
Yeah.
He was really down to earth guy, and
Yeah.
the way he would run his shop was basically every day we would have a different lesson on a different trade. So
Yeah.
we got like an overview of all the trades, not just one specific one.
Yeah.
And he would treat us like his employees.
right.
Yeah. So, or I guess he would be our foreman or journeyman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he wasn't scared to like swear and stuff, which you wouldn't see from normal instructors, because his program was designed to get you ready for the workforce.
Yeah.
In the trades, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
so he basically wanted to make sure all his students were ready for that and the reality of
Yeah. Yeah.
the workforce. So he ran things pretty strict. He ran a tight ship for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard he even had a time uh,
Yeah,
right? Like a
yeah,
time card
yeah.
you'd have to punch at the start of every class, right?
Every
Yeah,
morning we'd have to punch in. We'd be there an hour early,
yeah,
right? So that we'd be ready for the day and
yeah,
get everything set
yeah.
up.
Well, so good. Setting you guys up for
Oh,
success
yeah,
when you go into the
yeah,
field,
yeah.
right? Oh, very
Exactly.
cool. So where are you at now in your apprenticeship?
I'm a third year
Right.
plumber, I guess.
Yep.
I go back to school in September, and I'm gonna do third and fourth year back to back,
Back to back.
and
Yeah.
then get my ticket, and then I'll just be waiting for my hours
Yeah.
to catch up.
So how old will you be when you get your red seal?
21.
21.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
pretty cool.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the apprentice competitions because I know you've been really involved the last couple years,
Yep.
representing UAPIC, but also UA 170.
Yeah.
And so, why don't we start with what was the first competition you did, and we'll just kind of run
Yeah.
through all the
Okay. Every
competitions
single
you've
one.
done.
Sure.
Yeah,
So the first one was at the hall here.
yeah,
I didn't even know it was happening until one of my friends told me, Zamir Din, and he told me that they were having some sort of competition. I wasn't sure what it was,
hmm
but I was asked by Johnny,
Yep.
and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, like I'll just put myself out there, see what happens. And then I was competing against, I think it was Calgary and the island.
Right. So that first one would have been the UA Western
That's right, the
apprenticeship
UA Western.
competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. So I did that, and I ended up winning somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I did good, and I ended up winning that, and I went to the national apprentice competition that year in Montreal,
Yeah.
and I ended up competing there against Ontario, and I think it was Nova Scotia.
Right.
Yeah, 56.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I competed against those two guys, and I don't know what I came in, but I competed. It was a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah.
Both those two competitions really opened my eyes to like where the union could take you,
Yeah.
or where competing could take you for
Yeah.
sure. And it was really cool to see that they had those because
Yeah.
I had never even known they had trades competitions at all. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was really cool.
So, and for sure, like all the UA locals put apprentices forward for these competitions, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a good platform to showcase what the locals are doing with their training programs and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right?
Oh, exactly.
And yeah, just awesome. So, how did you find it coming from the Western competition and then the national, as far as like difficulty in the projects or setup or anything like that?
I thought it was pretty well. It was a step up going to the national competition for
Right.
sure. The competition we had at our hall,
Yeah,
I knew most of the stuff I was doing.
yeah,
We had one brazing project,
yeah,
and I'd never really brazed before. The only time I brazed was in first year,
yeah,
so I was like asking Pavel for tips and stuff, like
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And he was like, he gave me some tip. He was like, or it was supposed to be a jacketed fitting,
yeah.
like where you put the pipe all the way in. And he was like, no, just put it on the ends. You
Uh-huh.
don't need to put like pipe around it.
Right.
So he like messed me up, and I ended up brazing the wrong pipes together, and then I had to ask for new pipe and
Uh-huh.
like redid it. But
Right.
apparently my brazes were pretty good, and
Yeah.
I got full penetration, so
Yeah.
that's good. But
So even with that misstep, I mean, you still won.
Yeah.
So I mean, you must have done pretty well also in like other components
Yeah,
of some of the
yeah.
other projects
I
too,
guess
right?
so, yeah. And then, it was a step up going to the national competition for sure. There was a lot of things that I hadn't done before.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a learning experience for me.
Yeah.
Like, for example, rigging. I had not done like a lot of that before.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool to learn all that new stuff and all
Yeah.
the signals and
Yeah.
how to like maneuver pipe in the air in different ways.
Yeah, so you're kind of saying right now, like, not only were you competing, but you were also learning
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
and gaining, more skills, and then bringing that back to work after the
That's right,
competition
yeah.
too. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so UA Western and then UA National. That was in 2023, right? Now let's talk a little bit about, because those are UA competitions, but
Yeah.
you've also competed in
Skills.
the Skills Canada at a provincial and national level,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
walk us through that as well, and maybe kind of talk about some of the differences,
Yeah.
the scale, what you see when you're actually competing out there.
The projects are pretty similar,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, it's pipe is pipe. So
Right.
you just, but it was a bit different because they were private schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess when I was competing union at the union competitions, I guess there was a sense of brotherhood there.
Right.
Whereas like at the private competitions, like everybody was just every man for themselves.
In
for
it
sure.
to win it, and
Oh,
not quite
exactly.
as much camaraderie maybe
Yeah,
between
That's I felt that for
competitors.
sure. Yeah. So, there were 8 people when I competed at the provincial skills comp,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up winning that, and then went to the national in Quebec City,
Yeah.
and I think there were also 8 competitors there as well,
Yeah. Yeah. There would have been.
and I placed third in that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was definitely a cool experience. Like, I know they had all these trades competitions for
Mm-hmm.
all these different stuff, and like
Yeah.
robotics and like
Yeah,
culinary
I know,
stuff as
I
well.
know.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty eye-opening, especially when you go to a national competition
Yeah.
and they're in these big conference or event
Oh, it's
centers
huge.
and
Yeah, they had like an Olympic
thousands of people.
opening. Like,
Yeah,
there was like they walked in every province into the stadium, and like
yeah,
everyone was chanting. It was crazy.
yeah,
They had like Cirque du Soleil
yeah.
dancers on stage. It was nuts. I didn't expect that at all. Like,
Yeah.
I just thought it was like some trades competition. You just go there and do your
Yeah.
thing and go home. But
Yeah.
it's actually a really big deal, and it's really cool to see.
It is, and so I actually got involved with the skills competitions about 3 years ago, and so I'm the tech chair for Steam Fitter for British Columbia. So
Oh, that's what you're doing there.
yeah, so I planned the competition for the
Okay.
Steam trade, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was eye opening for me too.
Yeah.
And I know in plumbing, it's actually a world skills trade, right? So
Yeah, that's right.
um, the pathway would be, I mean, you compete at a provincial level, the national level, and then if you win that, you can go to worlds, right?
Yeah.
And well, obviously, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as you're going on. I haven't been to a
Yeah.
world competition, but I know there's like feeder events and training events that year when you're leading up to it.
Yeah.
And this year it's in Lyon, France, but I think they've hosted in Dubai and Tokyo
really?
and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
it's pretty neat.
cool.
And I mean, the whole point of these, well, one of the points I should say of these competitions is really, I think, elevating the status of skilled trades, exposing it to young people. Like, you see the amount of high school kids coming through, like thousands of high school kids
Yeah.
through these competitions, industry partners, and it's just awesome exposure, right? Especially, here in Canada, we've got so many people that are going to be retiring, and the amount of building that we have, we really need people to get into the skilled trades, right? So
Yeah, for sure. We
this
need
is
lots
definitely
of
an event that
yeah.
promotes it in a positive way.
Yeah,
right?
there are lots of kids there and teens just staring at you competing, but it's good.
Yeah,
Because we need lots of guys in the trades and lots of people.
yeah.
Sure. So,
So how did you prepare for these competitions? Did you do any training or coaching or work with anyone?
I was given a few tips.
Yeah.
I got like one session for copper tube bending,
Yeah,
and then I guess the rest is just training at work.
yeah,
I mean, you do the same thing you do at work in the skills comp, right? It's
Yeah.
just,
yeah.
you know,
So if you have a
Yes.
well-rounded apprenticeship, you're going to see all these materials and
Yeah.
these installation techniques,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
basically you can just apply them
Like, yeah.
to the project.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Yeah, it's all the same stuff, same pipe. So
Yeah.
just put it in.
Exactly. So I know you're taking a bit of time off right now, being that it's the summer and you've been working a lot. So tell us a little bit about why you enjoy the trades and plumbing, and kind of maybe some of the
Yeah.
flexibility that could be built into that.
Yeah, the
What some of your plans
Yeah.
are here.
Well, it is really flexible. I mean, I just decided to take some time off to go travel a bit and go go down south to Mexico and
Awesome.
hang out. So it's really cool in that regard where you can just have the freedom to, I'm actually able to take that time off as opposed to being an office job where I'd be stuck at a desk and,
Right.
or a different job where I wouldn't be able to take that time off that I want to.
Right.
And especially as an apprentice, there's lots of flexibility for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no real pressure for you to complete your apprenticeship. I mean, you should definitely complete it, but
Right.
I mean,
There's no exact set time frame,
No,
right?
there
So
isn't.
if you want to take 6 weeks off in the summer and go to Mexico for a few of those,
yeah,
and then go back into a job that's paying the same, right? Or
exactly.
even the same site or the same company, right?
Yeah.
It's in construction, it's pretty common to be laid off or to leave or go to another company, for example. And that's basically something that's just part of the trade. And for me, that was something that was really appealing too, because I love to travel as well,
Yeah.
and it really suited my
yeah,
lifestyle
it's
too.
really cool how you can just do that, right? I mean,
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, Max. Well, I really appreciate you coming in. We did a metal presentation
That's
the other
right,
day.
yeah.
I think it was a bit awkward in the
it
classroom.
was
there.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, we had all the instructors and our
just
staff
staring at
and-
me. Yeah,
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 for
it's
sure.
okay though. Yeah.
For sure. Well, we're all really proud of you here at
Thank you.
UAPIC and UA 170. You represented us really well at all these competitions, and I appreciate our chat today.
Yeah, it's good.
Cheers. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.